Alright, for this video I'm going to talk about the different programs that I use and where they're located at. So this is obviously the perspective of just me looking at my screens, and I have 4 monitors, okay, just a center, one on the top, and then I have some larger monitors to the right, a larger monitor to the left. I prefer it this way. I think the smaller monitors are good for the center, just so you kind of get a big picture, but it's not too big. And the side ones I flip vertically, so I don't have to crank my neck throughout the day. So on the center, it's just Etrade. It's my broker that I've been using from, since the very beginning. I've used Etrade. They're for US only. Solid option for long traders. I've always been happy with Etrade. I think they do a good job. I've had issues with them, but overall those issues, if you look at the time frames, I've maybe had like 3 or 4 big issues in the last nearly 5 years. So every broker is going to have issues from time to time. It's just kind of part of the game. So that's my main monitor. It's always Etrade. And up top in this area, now I've got the different level 2s with an order entry basically right above the level 2. So this is an order entry, this is a level 2. That way if I'm interested in stocks, I can have 3 main ones, maybe my top 3 that I'm interested in here with the orders, and usually I'll pop up another order, kind of have it up to the side here. And then it's just nice that I can also have 6 more stocks that I potentially think are big watches. I can just have them kind of plugged in and ready to go in case I need to take action. And Stockstotrade is just always on my main monitor, my main top monitor here. In the morning I'm just always looking at scans. In pre-market, this is just what I do. Like from the first video, the first watch list video, I just pull stocks up, double click them. If I see they had a move, okay, you can maybe look, see if they had any news. You can analyze them real quick as far as float and long-term chart. You want to just take a look at that. Is it a former runner? Has it held a range for a while? All the things we look for. And I'm just analyzing, I'm just kind of relaxing, pre-market analyzing these things. Whether it comes off a top % gain scan or it comes off new high scanner, doesn't really matter. I'm just curious. I'm curious, I look at stocks. My new high scanner is, well, you know what, I'm going to get to that in a second. But the point is, Stockstotrade's up here. When I have my Etrade open, I click Etrade, then those windows pop up, and that's not really, that's not an issue, because when I'm trading, I'm really not analyzing charts on Stockstotrade. But you can see the window's still up. I can still utilize the scanners on Stockstotrade, even with Etrade covering it. Now, in this left monitor, this here, it's kind of hard to see, but this is Interactive Brokers. Actually, from where this mouse is right here to this area is Interactive Brokers. The reason why I have this up is because Etrade's pre-market opens at 7 a.m. and Interactive Brokers starts at 4 a.m. So I can, if I want to swing a stock, I try to buy it on Interactive Brokers. If I want to buy something pre-market, a lot of times what I see is really good entries will kind of occur 10 minutes before 7 a.m. So if you want kind of that early entry as it's curling into the 7 a.m. kind of push, Interactive Brokers is good. So I can buy those shares early, get in when I want. It's always good to have the power to get in when you want. And yeah, so that's why it's a very small account, something like 35K. Actually, it's 35.7. When I first funded it, it was 30K. So it's like I've had it for a while. I haven't really grown it because I don't use it very often, and I really just prefer Etrade. I really prefer Etrade for their orders. Just it's easier to kind of plug in a stock and organize it the way I want. I just think Interactive Brokers kind of overcomplicates things in a weird way. They have just like 30 different places you can enter an order. It's crazy. They have all these. They just overcomplicate everything to the point where it's actually not optimal. So too complicated Interactive Brokers. Other than that, this area is DAStrader. So DAStrader. You can Google it and they offer a free trial. So if you want to check it out, you can do that. They've got a great free trial, and you can kind of just, with all of these programs, all of the software, you have to kind of take it upon yourself to play around with it, open things up, customize it. Like you have to do it. I guess what I'm trying to say is it does take time. It does take effort. But if you want to get comfortable with the software and actually learn about it, get to know about it, know if it's going to work for you, you can't ask people about it. You have to get the free trial and you have to dig in. You have to do it yourself. Very important, okay? To find the processes that work for you, to find the software that works for you, to find the brokers that work for you. You really got to get in there and you got to do it yourself. Very important. So that is what I use, DAStrader, and this is just a bunch of level 2s. Just a bunch of level 2s open with the price and quantity. I had to open them all up and organize them. And then on my right monitor, this is also DAStrader. So these are small charts, I believe 24 or so, maybe more. Let's see, 4 times 4 is 16, plus 6, I don't know, 22 charts, I guess. And then just a rolling watch list right here. So this is my rolling watch list. And I didn't used to have a rolling watch list, but now I do. So every single day that there's hot stocks off of Stockstotrade, I will just quickly plug them in. You can see just how large this rolling list is. I just go to the bottom, I plug in new stocks. So yeah, it's just a huge rolling watch list. And this right here, this is, sorry, back to the left monitor, you can see where my mouse is. This is DAStrader watch list. So I have a watch list here and I have a watch list here. And you can really make whatever watch list you want, obviously. Like this is just for, I like having a watch list in case I want to plug in just brand new stocks from the day of that are hot. Or maybe like some, what I would consider top watches, some 3rd-day surge setup, some range holds on multi-week or multi-month, something that I just really don't want to miss, or just something that I want, maybe separate from the bigger watch list. I can just plug it in here. So just a couple different watch list options that I can roll with, and I just find it helpful to have a rolling watch list, and then kind of some brand new watch list for the day of, or just stocks that I'm watching that week. And again, this is just over time, things that I've decided to work with, and they change. Maybe I'll work with something for a while, and I think, I don't actually like this that much. I can tweak it. I can move to something else. I'm just always willing to try new things. And that also applies to your setup and the programs you use, and you can just always try new things. Now obviously for me, I'm using Stockstotrade and I'm using DAStrader. That's what, $400 a month, or nearly $400 a month in expenses, which is a tax write-off. But the point is, as a newer trader, you're obviously not going to want to be blowing or burning through that much when you're not even, if it's not a big source of income, you're not going to want to be blowing that much money. So just work with your broker and something like Stockstotrade. Or if you try DAStrader and you like it better, you can use DAStrader. But I feel like Stockstotrade, the scans, kind of the scans and just being able to utilize it outside of normal trading hours to kind of look at those stocks, pull up the chart, have all the details there, and just quickly analyze. I think that's very powerful. And overall, I think that Stockstotrade is better for a newer trader to really start to learn. So I would roll with Stockstotrade and just your normal broker. And I think most traders might just start out with like 2 monitors, maybe 3 monitors. I mean, I didn't have this setup for a very long time, as most of you probably know, but you know what I would say is investing in a really good 24-inch monitor, or actually this might even be this is 27-inch, I believe. Just a very large monitor that you can flip vertically like this, and invest in one that is actually good. Okay, I can have links in the description of this video to just show the monitor, the exact monitor, because what happens if you don't get a good monitor, you're not going to be able to put things small because of the detail. It's going to have to be like big windows. It's hard to explain, but I'll link the exact monitors that I have if you're interested in getting them. I think it's worth it. You know, it's an investment that I put off for a very long time, and you know, like recently I lost power and had to trade from my parents' house with my laptop and just an extra second monitor, just something junky. And you go back to that and it's just like, wow, how did I trade like that for so long? It just blows my mind because it really makes trading so much more difficult. And yeah, so I just want to say, investing in a good setup, it really matters. Like, it really helps. And you don't have to rush into it. Like I said, if you're a newer trader, you don't have a proven win rate or anything, then don't rush into it. You know, but as you make more money and as it becomes maybe something that you can see yourself doing for a very long time, I would jump on it. Like, I would jump on the investment, get a good setup, because it really helps a lot, and it's just enjoyable. It's a good quality of life type of thing. You know, it's just, you're gonna have a good setup. It's gonna last for a long time. It makes everything just more enjoyable. You know, being able to trade on a PC that doesn't lag. You know, that doesn't crash on you or freeze on you, and that was a whole process in and of itself. Just optimizing my PC, figuring out how to make it work. You know, because when I first got it, it was actually overheating and crashing, and I had to install like 6 fans, and it's a bit noisier, but it's like, hey, you got to do what you got to do. You know, if you want to run all of these trading programs and have them run efficiently, heat is actually the #1 factor. And I didn't realize this for a long time. I thought I had to do with the programs, and you know, I should really probably take my setup video off, or you know, just remove the video completely, delete it, because I didn't know what I was talking about really in that video. Yeah, basically heat is a huge factor. If you don't have enough fans in your PC setup, and the heat doesn't have anywhere to go, the temperature just rises and rises, and the hotter your PC is running, the more lag and freezes and crashes that can occur. So definitely want to make sure you have a proper amount of fans in your PC. Very important. So that was a big deal. You know, that was a big discovery for me. Heat matters. It matters a lot. Let's see. So I think at this point I'm going to make this window smaller. Okay, so kind of get that broad overview, but now I'm going to talk about just the main view. So this is the center, and this is just Etrade. You know, I've got just my order status here. Like I said, the 3 level 2s. I have order entries here, and then I can also just, usually during the day, I will open a 3rd order entry and have it right in the corner here. Just placed right there. So when I plug in a stock, you know, whatever stock it is, it just doesn't even matter, but you plug it in, I've got it linked so I can immediately see the multi-year or multi-month. I can zoom out to see the multi-year, I can zoom in, see the multi-month, okay? So I've got that set up. Usually this order, okay, there's always, just as a rule, I've got this one linked up with this one, this middle one linked up with this one, and the bottom one linked up with the top right. You want to get in the habit of kind of organizing things exactly the same every day. It just helps, you know. Got, alright, so now the top. This is my top monitor here. Again, just you can just see in more detail. I've got the order entry. I have the level 2. And I've got the Stockstotrade scanners up. And you can see that when I click my Etrade, I can still see some stocks up here. Maybe some stocks I'm just interested in knowing where their price is fluctuating. I can leave them here. You don't really want to leave too many tabs open on Stockstotrade unless you have a really good computer. So I guess that's another thing. If you don't have an i9 computer, whether it be a PC or a laptop, if you don't have an i9, I really recommend you get it. You know, as technology gets better, I invest in it. You know, invest in good technology. An i9 makes everything so much smoother. Just the difference from i7 to i9 is out of this world. So I highly recommend investing in it. And I don't really think you should think of it like you're investing in a good PC for trading and putting all this pressure on trading. Invest in it because it's nice to have a really great computer. I mean, you're going to use a great computer for at least 5-10 years. It's going to last a long time. It's a great quality of life investment. And if you think about the cost of a good PC compared to most things in life, it doesn't really cost as much as other big investments like a nice car or a nice place or a nice whatever the case may be. You know, I think taking classes for like one semester at a pricey school can be like $5,000-$10,000. You know, just for one semester. And it's like, if you think about all these pricey things, you can get a good PC setup that'll last you 5 to 10 years for under $5,000. So now that's if you go all out. Like I went all out, and I think the total cost of everything, including the monitors, you know, just everything, was about $5,000. Although you can make a budget setup for probably $2,000 or $3,000 and still have an amazing setup. So just something to think about. You know, this is investments for years and years and years of just very quality of life things that are going to make your life more enjoyable. And I think that if there's anything in life that you want to pour money into, it's quality of life things that you will literally use every single day and just make your life better overall. You know, we only got one life, and I say, hey, spend the money where it counts and make your life the best it can be. And I think just, you know, some people really just got to justify, or it takes them a little bit more of a push to invest in themselves, invest in good quality setup. And I'm one of those people. I put off investing for so long, and I'm just trying to get through to those stubborn people like myself. Do it. Just drop the money and invest. You know, I know it feels scary to kind of get into tech. I'm not really a tech person. It was very intimidating learning how to use a second monitor. You know, you can Google all of this stuff about how to use multiple displays, how to hook up multiple monitors, you know, all of this stuff. Use Google, you know, Google DAStrader, Google Stockstotrade, Google whatever. Just, you can figure it out yourself. You have the power to figure it out yourself. Research these things and play around with them. And I just want to I just want to make that clear. You don't have to wait on anybody. You don't have to ask anybody. Like, you can do this. Okay. Alright, so this is my this is the monitor to my left. This is all of you guys. What up, everybody? The different chats I got going on here. So let me see if I can organize this better. You can't see the whole view, but this is my entire left monitor, okay? So that's the DAStrader, and this is Interactive Brokers, okay? And then I've got my Discord and Etrade. So throughout the day, I really like having the Etrade up so that I can look at my portfolio, look at the positions that are open, and I will constantly throughout the day, just as I'm trading, I'll just randomly refresh the Etrade portfolio, make sure I'm not in any positions that I thought I closed out of. You know, it's very important. You wouldn't believe how many times that I thought I closed completely out of my positions and I wasn't. Okay, it's really handy to kind of keep up the main website and, you know, just refresh it and make sure, just good to make sure they're actually out of those positions. And then my right monitor is DAStrader. So again, you're just seeing the different charts. I just basically top percent gain scanner in the morning is I just plug in those stocks into the charts because those are going to be the main watches for the day for the most part. Or if there's just a stock I'm camping for, like a multi-week breakout such as FLGC, you know, I had that stock up just because this thing had a perfect multi-day, multi-week that I was just waiting to see if it could make an uptrend, and it had a really strong kind of open. I know it sold off, it washed really hard, but then it started making higher lows and it found a fresh uptrend over VWAP, and that's when I started to size in, thinking, wow, this might actually kind of have a false breakdown, recovery, go make a new high day breakout in the afternoon, and then just squeeze and break out on that multi-day, multi-week, and that's exactly what happened. Maybe I didn't play it the best, to be honest, but I mean, I still nailed the $30,000 trade on it, which saved my day. You know, last week was an absolute mess for me, but hey, still made 30K in the week, and I'll slow it down going forward as this market is just incredibly slow right now. It is slowed down to the point where if you overtrade just random stuff, you're going to get murdered. But as you can see, even though it's a slow market, plays like FLGC still come around. And if you can just wait patiently, not burn money, and then nail something like FLGC, you'll still have a great week. You know? So it's all about, I think going forward, it's going to be kind of trade less and be more selective and be a lot more careful. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, the rolling watch list is just very... You can see how many stocks are on here. I mean, I don't really mind that it's big because in the morning I just have it organized like percent change, and then I could have this percent change after open that I utilize after the market opens. Okay. So, I mean, that's about it. I mean, that's my setup right now. So this is a setup video, and I'm going to make, or try to make, a pre-market kind of how to find stocks video, but I mean, the truth is, I mean, it's the same as always. Like, even that first watch list video that I made, I know it's a junky video, but that's the truth of what I kind of do. I just look through the scans every single day, plug in new stocks that I'm interested in, I make sure I'm up in the morning pre-market. I'm just up, I'm around, I'm present, and I just pull up charts, I look at stuff, I look at former runners, I look at different developments. When you're around and you're present and you put in the time and effort and work, you'll run into stuff. And if you run into stuff you like, plug it on a new day of watch list, you know? Open a chart on your extra monitor, you know, keep track of it. And that's the hardest part, when people want a bigger explanation into how to find the stocks. They think that there's a secret or something, or not a secret, but they want to know, and it's like there's nothing to know. There's nothing I can tell you that you don't already know. That's the hard part. There's nothing I can say that changes anything. You need to just open stocks, be curious, analyze them yourself. If you like them, put them on a watch list, and then be present and watch them. It takes a lot of work. It's not fun. It's kind of nerdy. It is nerdy. It's you literally just looking at charts all day. It's nerdy. It's not fun. It's not glamorous. That's the truth, though. There's nothing I can tell you to teach you how to put in the work. You have to just put in the work. Once you have at least have Stockstotrade, I would say. And once you have that, you'll be able to utilize the scans. That reminds me, on my top center, I did want to quickly talk about, what did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, so in my new Hive Day scanner, I mean, I've shown this before, but it's just very simple. 20 cents to $15, 5,000 volume and below, just the float, one float to 50 million. I keep it one float because if I keep it nothing, then a bunch of weird stocks pop up, and that kind of annoys me. So I just keep it one. Trades, at least 10 trades and above, and that's all. You know, just the simplest criteria ever. And the only reason why I don't have more expensive stocks, I mean, I just don't really want to get overwhelmed, I guess. And most stocks that are over $15, I'm already aware of, because usually they're stocks like FLGC that have already been running. So I'm already super aware of them. And it's more like the stocks that I'm not aware of that are kind of in those early stages are going to be $15 and below. And that's kind of why I just keep it 15 and below. I don't want to get overwhelmed by too many stocks. On the percent stock list, you know, just 50 cents to $200, volume 30,000 and below, 1 to 100 million it looks like, float, and 20 trades and below. I mean, these are just all, I've played around with the different filters. I don't think they make a huge difference. I mean, you can set them however you want. That's just what I prefer. And throughout the day, sometimes I keep it percent change. Other times, I'll just move it to volume, right? The top volume. And maybe I'll just take a look, what are the biggest volume movers on the day, and then what are the biggest percent movers. Like, you can play around with this stuff. You can always, you know, that's the great thing about Stockstotrade. You can do whatever you want. Like, you can click the news, and it'll show you what stocks actually have PRs. You can click the percentage. Okay, maybe I just want to see which ones are the top movers. Maybe I want to see which ones have the top volume. You can do all these things and play around with it throughout the day. Maybe you even want to see which ones are the biggest losers on the day. You know, and you can do that. You have the option to. So my main point for just this video is just to explain, like, you're going to have to play around with this stuff yourself and find what works for you. That's all I can really say. There's not a secret for finding stocks. There's really not. There's so many stocks throughout a day. Do you think I'm sitting here camping like one individual stock all day because I know that stock's going to work? Absolutely not. I'm watching 50 stocks a day. You know, I'm watching a crazy amount. And I'm just actively looking, analyzing, and thinking. And as stocks develop and as they form structure and as, you know, things happen throughout a day that will give you some insight or hints into what might be coming around, such as that FLGC. Okay, like, I didn't know that was going to be a big runner that day, but I knew it was possible because of the multi-week, and I had kept it up, and I thought, hey, it's possible. And then throughout the day, I see it creeping and uptrending. Okay, then I can focus in on it and play it. But the only reason why I was able to do that is because I put in the effort and the work on a day-to-day basis. Okay, that's the main thing that I want to get through. It's a day-to-day basis. It's habits and processes that I have every day. that add up to me being fluent and comfortable in the market, to be able to see and react to opportunities in real time. That's the main thing that I can't really get across to people. It's because I have daily habits. That's why I'm able to better find and better prepare for these things. So it's all about putting in the work, that's really all I can say. There's no secret. And I know I've said it a million times, but I don't know what else to say, It's a hard thing to say because it really disappoints a lot of people, and it really crushes a lot of people. They get that sinking feeling, crap, he doesn't have some crazy process, he doesn't have some automated system, he doesn't have any of that. He just puts in the work, crap. That takes a lot of time and effort, and I didn't realize he worked this hard, crap. You know what I mean? Like, I really do. I disappoint a lot of people when they hear me say these things, because the truth is, it just takes a lot of work and a lot of screen time and a lot of just looking, being curious. You see something you like, plug it on a watch list, a recent watch list, put in the work. That's all we can do as traders. Just try our best to put in the work and watch things we think are big opportunities. And as you get more experience, you'll have a better kind of root in reality. You'll actually be able to, in reality, know what stocks are actual good opportunities. And over time, you'll be able to really zone in and have a better feel for what is actually a good opportunity. And that makes your life easier. So I'll just say, don't get overwhelmed. Just keep taking it one day at a time. Keep trying to think and plan, and kind of, if your plans aren't working out well, or if you're not even close to reality, then tweak your thought processes and ask yourself, well, what am I doing that might, be wrong? A big thing I do when I study, I look at the biggest movers and I analyze the details. So I literally just pull up a big chart, just say, okay, so what's the float? Oh, this is actually a 35 mil float, so a little bigger than what I'm used to. It's a drug manufacturer. Where is it located? That can be an interest sometimes. Maybe I'll read the description, maybe not. It doesn't really matter. I look at the long-term chart. It's like, okay. And you see something like this, like, look at how long this took to develop. From 8.3 to 8.12, and the breakout was actually on the 13th. It took 10 days of consolidation for this to break out. And hey, 10 days, oh, it's 35 mil float. You know what? That kind of makes sense. I kind of get that. It's a bigger float. It takes a little longer to develop and get structure and work. Oh, okay. So you see how, like, you can just look at the details and think about the details, and then kind of your experience, like, you gain experience by doing these things, and then you learn. Okay? And this was a recent IPO that washed out, and then after it kind of broke out of this trend, okay, so recent IPO, it breaks out of this trend, and then look at how hot it gets. Just an amazing move from 3 to 10. You get that consolidation. It continues. Just an amazing move. And so when this gets hot, yeah, you're going to want to have this. You want it on your watch list once it gets hot. And then as it holds gains for multiple days, this is still on your watch list. You can see it descending volume, holding the range. Like, oh, it might break out of the range and make new highs. Boom. It does it. And you can prepare for this if you show up every day, if you have the correct processes in place to keep watching and keep being interested in hot stocks, and then you can plan and prepare for these things. Okay, it has a huge spike. Hey, look, it holds gains and it has descending volume for a very long time. I can watch that and take that seriously as something that might make another great move up and continue this amazing move up. Do you see how, how do you explain to somebody when somebody comes to you and is like, how did you find this? How is it? How do you know to watch this? How they want to know how. What are the secrets? How did you know? How do you explain to somebody You know, when this is something that's a daily thing. I show up every day and I have the processes and habits in place to watch this stuff and to camp it and to prepare for it. And it's such a complex thing, more of like a day-to-day habit type of thing, to know what's in play, to know what could be a great opportunity. How do you describe this to some of these people? You know, and it's not a knock to them. I know everybody starts out new, and I was lost at one point. You know, I'm not trying to knock anybody. I'm just trying to explain it's very complex. It's very complex things, and it's just hard to kind of get through to somebody and explain this is a lifestyle. This isn't just something you can show up and randomly do. It's a lifestyle. You need to be able to show up every day. You need to be able to be aware of some of these hot stocks that have been holding gains for multiple days or weeks or even months sometimes. AMC was like a multi-month scale. Some of these things, you got to be just active in the market like it's a lifestyle. You go to the gym every day, you get in the reps, right? If you want to get stronger, right? It's got to be a lifestyle. Just like stocks, if you want to get really good, it's got to somewhat be a lifestyle. Have the processes in place to keep track of these things that are moving and developing on those multi-day, multi-week, multi-month. And this can be done if you have a job. Okay, if you can't trade the market all day every day, that's fine, as long as you can find a way to have the processes and habits in place, even if it's just 30 minutes a day, as long as it's every day. That's what's most important. As long as you put in some sort of work on a day-to-day basis, that's more important than showing up randomly one day a week or 2 days. You know, you get the point. Like, even if you put in a 10-hour day once or twice a week, I would rather somebody put in a 1 or 2 hour day 5 days a week. That would be much better than somebody just putting in 1 day a week of 10 hours. Consistency on a day-to-day basis processes, that is what will get you prepared for big opportunities. And you don't need a bunch of monitors for that. You don't. Like I said, watch my really crappy watch list video that I made where I was just explaining how I utilize like a 2-monitor setup, and I was like really tired, and really it was an awful video. I mean, it's just awful. But I described the reality of what my life was for a very long time. You know, I just wake up, look at the scanners, analyze, make watch lists, and I'm there every day. That's my process. That's my habits. Okay? That's what keeps me fresh and aware of what opportunities are brewing, developing, and could be today. Obviously, I don't know what will happen today, but I'm aware of the possibilities. And that's a concept that's really hard for newer traders to grasp. Alright, I think I'll just leave it there. Yeah, hopefully the setup video helped a bit, just to kind of get some more insight. Like I said, I heavily suggest getting the DAStrader free trial just to at least check it out and play with it. And then you got to make the call, you know, like, do you like DAStrader more than Stockstotrade? Do you know, because I don't think a newer trader should be working with both programs. I just don't. I think you should choose either Stockstotrade or DAStrader and trade alongside with your normal broker. That would probably be my advice. But at the end of the day, you got to find out what works for you. You got to play around with your own setups. These just aren't questions that other people can answer for you. It just doesn't work that way. You have to really put in the work to find out what works best for you. You know, we all have so much more power than we think. Okay, you don't need anybody to help you. You have so much more power than you think. You really do. So that's the key takeaway from this video. You have a lot of power. You're capable of a lot of things. You can do it all by yourself. You're capable. We all are. We're capable of a lot more than we think. Alright. Thanks for watching. I hope it helped.